Welcome to the Explainer. So today, we're diving into the invisible machinery that literally powers our modern digital world. Think about it. Every single time you scroll through a website, buy something online, or even just click on a recommendation in a streaming app, you are generating data. But here's the catch. That raw data is messy. It's scattered. It's completely disorganized, and honestly, on its own, it's just not very useful. And that is exactly where data engineering comes in. It's basically the essential infrastructure, the plumbing, if you will, that takes all that messy, raw data and turns it into highly valuable, actionable insights. So, whether you are a complete beginner or a focused learner looking to really nail down your foundational knowledge, this explainer is perfectly designed to demystify the modern data stock for you. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to start with Section 1, Meet the Data Engineer. Then, Section 2, Building the Data Pipeline. Section 3 covers warehouses and data lakes. Section 4 breaks down batch versus streaming data. And finally, Section 5, Trusting the Data. All right, Section 1, Meet the Data Engineer. Now, before we get into the really heavy tech stuff, we need to establish exactly what role a data engineer plays in a modern organization. And this brilliantly illustrates how it actually differs from other data roles you've probably heard of. Think of data engineers as the road builders, right? They design, they construct, and they maintain the infrastructure, those data pipelines that move information safely and efficiently from point A to point B. Data scientists, on the other hand, well, they're the drivers. They take those newly built roads to reach a destination, using the data to build out fancy predictive models and run complex analyses. But here's the reality. Without the engineer building a solid, reliable road, the data scientists simply cannot drive. They'd be stuck in the mud. The engineer is the one who ensures the data is trustworthy, scalable, and actually accessible. Moving right along to Section 2, Building the Data Pipeline. So now that we know we're basically building digital roads, how do we actually construct them? Let's use a real-world example here. Say an online bookstore. To build a pipeline, we traditionally use a three-step process known as ETL. Step 1 is extract. Imagine our bookstore. You have customers clicking on books, adding things to their carts. We extract that raw data right from the website's operational database, and we do it without slowing the actual website down. Step 2 is transform. Now, this is where the magic really happens. We clean up missing values, we calculate new metrics. For example, you might multiply the book price by the quantity ordered to figure out your total revenue. And finally, Step 3 is load. We take all that beautifully cleaned and transformed data, and we load it into a centralized warehouse where the business team can easily analyze it. So that's extract, transform, load. However, modern cloud computing has actually completely flipped the script on this process, giving us ELT, extract, load, and then transform. Because modern cloud platforms have just massive storage and processing power these days, businesses can now extract the raw data and immediately load it straight into their destination system. Only after it's loaded do they use SQL to transform it. This is a huge deal because it allows for much faster data ingestion, and it gives data teams incredible flexibility. Why? Because the raw data is always preserved, just sitting there in case they ever need to go back and change how they want to transform it later. Which brings us to Section 3, warehouses and data lakes. So once your data is moving through these pipelines, it obviously needs a permanent place to live. And standard operational databases, the ones running the day-to-day website, they just aren't built to handle heavy historical analytics. The absolutely crucial point here is choosing the right storage for the job. Data warehouses are highly structured. They use something called schema on write, which basically means the data has to be perfectly formatted and organized into neat structured tables before it ever gets saved. It is highly optimized for business intelligence and reporting. Conversely, we have data lakes. These are massive storage pools that accept raw, completely unstructured data. We're talking images, videos, audio files, raw text logs. They use schema on read, meaning you just kind of dump the data in there and you figure out the structure later when you actually need to read it. Data lakes are incredibly flexible, and honestly, they are the primary engine for feeding machine learning and AI models today. But you might be wondering, what if you want the best of both worlds? Well, modern data engineering is quickly shifting towards something called the lakehouse architecture. A lakehouse unifies these two concepts. It gives you the massive, flexible storage capabilities of a data lake for all your messy, unstructured data, combined with the high-performance, structured querying capabilities of a data warehouse. It's a real game changer because it drastically reduces complexity and stops you from having to constantly duplicate your data across multiple different systems. Let's jump into Section 4, Batch versus Streaming Data. Okay, so we know how to move the data and we know where to store it, But the next really big architectural question we have to ask is, how fast does this data actually need to be processed? Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast. Batch processing happens on a scheduled frequency, maybe once a night at 2 a.m. when everyone's asleep. The latency is high, meaning your data might be hours or even days old. A great example of this would be your standard daily sales report. The major benefit here, it is generally much lower in cost and complexity. Stream processing, on the other hand, is continuous. The latency is literally measured in milliseconds. Think about it. If you're a bank running fraud detection on a credit card swipe, you absolutely cannot wait until 2 a.m. to process that. You need to know instantly. The trade-off, of course, is that streaming is generally way more complex and definitely higher in cost to maintain. But the good news here? Businesses rarely have to choose just one. Most modern data stacks actually use a hybrid approach. You'd route your daily reporting and your heavy historical analysis through your reliable batch pipelines. Then you reserve those expensive, high-speed streaming pipelines for the things that truly need it, like live dashboards, Internet of Things sensors, and of course, fraud detection. There are even clever techniques like micro-batching. This is where you process tiny batches of data every few seconds, which essentially gives you near real-time results without taking on the massive complexity of a pure streaming architecture. And finally, Section 5, trusting the data. Listen, you can build the absolute fastest pipelines and the most massive data lakes in the entire world, but if the data inside them is flawed, none of it matters. Zero. You've likely heard this famous maxim, garbage in, garbage out. It is literally the golden rule of data engineering. If a pipeline accidentally ingests negative age values or missing customer emails or duplicate order IDs, your final executive dashboards are going to be completely wrong. And when business leaders make decisions based on incorrect data, it can and does lead to massive financial losses. So data validation and profiling must happen at every single step to prevent the garbage from ever making it to the warehouse in the first place. And that is exactly where data governance steps in. Governance is how a business actually manages and protects its data. It's not just about accuracy and consistency, it's really about accountability. Defining clear data ownership means someone, an actual human being, is responsible for the quality of a specific data set. Implementing things like data catalogs and lineage tracking allows analysts to look back and see exactly where a piece of data came from and how it was transformed along the way. And critically, maintaining strict data security and privacy ensures that sensitive personal information is locked down, encrypted, and protected from unauthorized access. Good governance literally transforms a chaotic data swamp into a highly trusted business asset. So I want to leave you with a final, somewhat provocative question. As artificial intelligence continues to evolve at just a breakneck pace, are your data pipelines actually ready to feed it? AI models are voracious consumers of data. They absolutely require massive, clean, well-governed datasets to function properly. A predictive AI is only as smart as the underlying data infrastructure that supports it. Mastering the foundations of data engineering isn't just about building simple reports anymore, guys. It's literally about building the future of intelligent systems. Keep learning, keep building, and thank you so much for joining me in this explainer.